Right. So, Kurt, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm gonna need you to just, I think,
So I just need to let me see. I'm gonna mute. Let's see here.
if you mute your phone, you mute your mic
Um
on
I'm
Clubhouse, you'll
gonna
be fine.
mute.
Do you want us to just go through moderator instructions?
Well, hold on for just a second. We're gonna mute here. I'm gonna mute that.
Okay,
Turn this
that's it.
up.
That should do it.
All right. Hey, Kurt.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how are we gonna do this?
Jared, can you hear me? Can Jared hear me?
No, I've got. I don't know. I've.
Sorry, Jared, can you hear us?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna need you to turn down your iPad, Don, and you're gonna listen through StreamYard today.
Got it. All right. I'm going to have to change
And
over
Jared,
to
can you hear Don?
music mode. Hold on for a second. I got to make some changes here because I can still hear myself. I got to change this over to music mode. All right. So I could turn it all the way down. There we go. All the way down. All right. So what do we need to do next?
Uh, Jared, can you just give us a little quick test? We want to make sure that Don can hear you.
Test, test, 1 2 1 2.
All right. I can hear you.
All right, we're good to go.
We're good to go. All right. All right. So let me switch over to my headset. And there we are. And then, all right. Can everybody hear me okay?
I definitely can.
All
Loud and
right,
clear.
Jared, loud and clear. Okay. So, folks, here's what we're going to be doing. It will look like when I'm speaking, I'm down there upper left, but you'll see the mic is still closed. And but so I'm what it looks like is actually Kurt speaking when I'm speaking, but that's what we're doing today, folks. So had to make some changes so that you can actually see our demonstrations on screen. And because I'm working from home today, I went to the office and the internet was down. And we were just talking about this on Kurt's live show about why do I go live? Right, Kurt?
That's right. That's right.
Why we go live and things like this often happen, folks, when we're trying to go live, and in doing that, things happen. Well, this morning the internet is out in my office, so I had to drive like a half hour all the way back home, get set up, and then Kurt says, no problem. We'll get it fixed around so we can still have audio and video. Well, folks, my name is Don Daniel. I'm the founder of Pill Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And we have a book by the same name, and that book has been #1 on Amazon. Today, we want everyone to know this without a shadow of a doubt. Everyone has to deal in one way or another with loans, whether it's a mortgage, student loans, credit cards, all types of installment loans. But we've never had a class on how it all works. Never had a class on it. So if we've never had a class on it, how do you know you're doing it in the most efficient manner? We have been given the financial gurus have given us over the years, here's a way to deal with these loans and save money. I'm trying to tell you right now, throw it all away. It's costing you 75% more interest than you need to, all because we're not learning how to read an amortization schedule and taking advantage of it before it takes advantage of us. Folks, you're spending your children's inheritance on interest. It needs to stop today. And we're dedicated to make sure that you get that information. So, Jared, I'm eager to get into the information today. So, why don't we go ahead and jump right in with our moderator intros and get some questions up here on this stage?
Absolutely. So to confirm, Ice 10K videos is up and running.
That
It
is
is up
correct.
and running.
All right, bet. Great. So all the hard work we did this morning is for you to see this example. So definitely want you to take advantage of that opportunity. If you have a laptop, an iPad, or a desktop, go ahead and slide over to that device, pull out that iPad, turn it on, go to your browser, type in ice10kvideos.com. I'll put it in the chat as well in a second. And once you get there, look for the panel that says live. Click that one. Commercial will play. Let it run or skip it, and you'll see Don in the studio or Don at home or the example on the screen, and you'll be able to see the examples on your screen. All right. So we're gonna go through some quick moderator introductions, and we're getting to our first example. But we love the first example to be an audience question. So if you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, feel free to type in your question in the chat and we will interact with you and get into your example. Or if you're in the Clubhouse audience, raise your hand and come on stage and we will answer your question. And that'll help not only you, it'll help everybody else in the audience. All right. So a quick introduction for myself. My name is Jared Albritton. I do a ton of work in the tech, NFT, crypto, and metaverse space to help people become early adopters and take advantage of the financial opportunities in those spaces. I would love if everybody in this room could go down to my bio, go down to Instagram, and give me a follow there. I'm only 2 follows away from the next number on Instagram. So that would be cool. And also check out the link in my bio. I do a 5-episode season where we jump into the metaverse. And I'll also be talking about the metaverse uh, Don's uh, in Don's conference, May 20th to the 22nd, which we're going to give you more information about. So check that out and stay tuned. Up next is Kenyatta.
Okay, so good morning, good people. My name is Kenyatta, and you can find me at kenyatta10k.com. And I am passionate about helping you build generational wealth. And I can help you do this by helping you to find a deal, finance that deal, cancel the interest on that deal, so we can get you in yet another deal. Good morning, and enjoy this throwback.
10K cards, are you there?
Super good morning, guys. If you can hear me, great. If not, put me on mute. So from the House of 10K Cards, guys, look, everyone have a special gift, talent, or a business that they're running. And if you want to share with the world exactly who you are and what you do, um, introductions matter. So when you get a chance to introduce yourself to someone, make sure you let them know exactly who you are and what you do. And one of the best ways to do that, guys, is with a digital business card. If you make the decision to get a digital business card, you might as well get the #1 card on the planet, and that's your 10K card. So for all of those today who actually invest in a copy of Don's book, will get yourself a 10K card, and then once you get it, go show the world exactly who you are and what problem you solve. With that said, back to you, Jared.
Last but not least is the master producer, Kirk.
Yes, yes, yes. Good to be here. Good to be here. Welcome everybody to the P.I.L.L Method Room, P.I.L.L Method Club. Don is going to share with you some information today that is mind-blowing. Want to make sure that you guys are able to engage with him both on Clubhouse and online. ice10kvideos.com will get you to be able to see us where we are. That is going to be on YouTube, and YouTube is a really great platform, not only for you to be able to see us live as we are right now, but also for you to be able to share these videos with others after the fact. That's one of the things that Don and I talked about when we talked about engaging together to do this live on all the different platforms, is the replay factor, the ability for people to come and see this at their own pace, on demand, if you will. And we had such a great time on my show this past Monday. My show is called How It All Works. It's Mondays, 7 p.m. Central Time on my YouTube channel. All of those details are in my 10K card, kirk10klive.com. But the reason why we had Don on the show is because we wanted to ask him the question, why do you go live? And he answered it unequivocally. I mean, he answered it with the passion of a Baptist minister. He answered it with as if his life depended, as if he was before the judge. And it almost took over the entire show because he has such a huge why. Right? His why is getting this information out to you guys. His why is not hiding it under a bushel. His why is people are going to their graves not really fully understanding true potential and financial legacy, and that is what this room is all about. So I encourage you to not only hit that follow button wherever you may be watching, or hit that subscribe button in whatever way you can engage, but also hit the chat. Also raise your hand and come up to the stage and ask your questions, because your questions are the agenda, and it really allows him to come alive. I've seen it with my own two eyes multiple times a week. This is episode what, 60? Where are we? 63? Which one is this,
No,
Don?
this is 65.
65, episode 65, and it does not repeat. We always hear something different, and that aha moment at that viewers and people who are asking questions have is just absolutely amazing. So I'm going to turn it back over to Jarrett, who is then going to turn it back over to Don. But if you want to tap in with me, kirk10klive.com is the place. Let's figure out what live video can do for you.
Hey, Jared and Kirk, I've got to shut my screen down for just a second. Google Chrome has to restart, so
Sure.
I'll be able to share the screen. So, Jared, take it for the next 20 seconds or so.
Sure.
And actually, while the screen is reloading, we have just a question that probably doesn't warrant an example, but more just like a verbal response.
Okay.
All right.
He's actually restarted, so he's going to be coming back into StreamYard in just a second, but yeah.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah,
no worries.
We'll stall
right,
for
so
him.
actually, I have something I want to share.
Sure.
Real quick. We want to make sure when Don gets back, this room can be visible to as many people on Clubhouse as possible, because this is such valuable information for our community when it comes to economic growth, economic prosperity. So there's a feature on Clubhouse called the share option. So you'll see that little number 2 in between the scissors and the chat bubble. I want you to go ahead and follow my lead. So I'm going to lead by example. So right now I'm clicking that share button. I'm going to the top where it says share on Clubhouse. I'm clicking that, and I'm going to drop some fire emojis because this information is fire. I click share. You now see that number 2 turn to a number 3. All right. I would love to see that number 3 turn to 10 or 15. We have 19, 20 people in the room. Donna's doing this completely free. And all we ask is if you could just do us a favor and click that share button, moderators followed by the speakers, others in the room, and just go ahead and click share on Clubhouse and share this room in the hallway. We would super appreciate it. And if you're on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, the share option on those platforms, share it to your people. And if you know somebody that is about to buy a house, about to put down a big down payment, still struggling with student loans, etc., click that number 3, go down to where it says invite people, and invite that specific person into the place. We would love to get this room as big as possible, because we want to make the biggest impact on our community when it comes to taking money that they're spending on the bank and redirecting it into our community. We appreciate the support. Thank you to the 2 people that followed my lead, and we look forward to seeing that number continue to go up. Don, are you back in the building?
He is. Oh, well, he was. He looks like he just went ahead and restarted again. So yeah, he was back, but he stepped away one more time.
All right. Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for everybody that shared the room. This is really important, and Don will be back in a second. But while we wait for Don, this room goes for 2 hours, so we got an hour and 40 minutes left. It goes by a lot faster than you think. You think you can get a question in, and the stage is full. So if you have a question on your mind, don't wait. Raise your hand. Come on stage. We would love to answer the questions. The more interactive the room is, the stronger the content is, because that back and forth really helps not only you understand what the P.I.L.L method does and how you can apply it to your specific situation, but it helps the audience as well. So please don't be shy. Raise your hand. Come on stage. And if you can't come on stage because you're at work, feel free to write your question into the chat on the left-hand side. So with that being said, Kirk, is Don back yet?
He just got back in. Don, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here, but it will not. Okay, I'm trying to get it to let me. Okay, let me see if I can get it this time.
Well,
okay, I got it now. Hold on.
all right, cool. We do have a question in the chat that may not require a visual, but go ahead and let's make sure we can get that screen up as well.
All right, so here we go. All right. Okay, here we go.
Mm. I don't know what happened there, but he just dropped out again.
Well, I'm gonna do a shameless plug. If you've ever seen me on Clubhouse or you appreciate my content, you follow me here. Would love for you to click on my profile, scroll down and follow me on Instagram. I'm only 2 followers away from 13.8, and that would be pretty cool. So if 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 of y'all could follow me on Instagram, I'll be updating things around metaverse tech, NFTs, and crypto in my stories. So yeah, hook a brother up,
Come
give me a
on.
follow.
I
Yeah.
love it. Love it. Love it.
Uh,
Love it. All right. He's back again. He's back again.
I think I got it this time.
Okay. We lost you. We lost you before, so we want to make sure.
I think I got it this time.
Okay, I see it.
There we go.
I
There we
see it.
go.
Yeah.
Listen, man, training. Got to have that training. All right. So you said you have a question in the chat. So what do we have?
yes, yes. So Nancy Johnson, who can't come on stage because she's at work, asked, "How does the 3 month forbearance affect mortgage?"
Okay. How does a 3 months forbearance affect mortgage? All right. So here's how a forbearance actually works. So with the CARES Act coming, and now if you're thinking about the CARES Act because of COVID, the U.S. government has said, listen, if you're affected by COVID, you can take advantage. If your mortgage is a government-backed mortgage, you can. And first, we have to do a disclaimer. This is not legal advice. I am not a lawyer. Make sure that you get your CARES Act, read it for yourself, take it to your lawyer to interpret. Okay, but this is how it worked for me and those that that I work with, and this is just a little guidance. All right. So here's what we're talking about. When you take advantage of the forbearance, you call your bank or mortgage company, and if it's a government-backed loan, they have to give you that option of going into forbearance, where you're not paying your mortgage for a period of time. Now, they'll give you an option, they'll say, "Well, we'll check back with you in 3 months." That does not mean that you have just 3 months. You have up to 18 months. But the way that, because they're not required, the bank is not required to teach you what the CARES Act means or interpret it for you. And the way that they talk to you, it sounds like this is the way it is. It only lasts for 3 months. No, it's up to 18 months that you can have that option. They're just going to check back with you in 3. So if you know the rules and they say 3 months, and you say, well, actually, it's 18 months. This is, well, would you like to check back with you in 6 months? Would you like for us to check back with you in 9 months or 18 months? So they're doing it in 3 month increments, trying to get you back in to paying the mortgage, but up to 18 months, that's what the law allows. All right. So now here's what we're talking about. So for that amount of time, you don't have to pay your mortgage. They are going to take a look at how much you owe, and those 3 months are actually going to be deducted from what you owe. Okay. So if you still owe $200,000 and you're supposed to make 3 mortgage payments, those payments will be deducted from what you owe. But that doesn't mean you don't owe those payments. You still owe them. Then, after coming out of forbearance, you have to then figure out which way you want to make up those payments. And so here are some options. You can make up all 3 payments at once. And then you'll say, why did I go into forbearance in the first place if I had the money? Now you want me to make up all 3 payments at once. Or you can, we'll just raise your payment just a little bit until you make up those 3 payments. Right? So they'll alter your payments that way. There is another way. You can go into deferment. Deferment means, and there's no penalty for this, deferment means those 3 payments that we remove from your mortgage, we're going to put them on the back end of the mortgage. So if you went in, let's say you had 220 payments left. And because you missed 3, now you have 217, but they're going to put those 3 payments back on the back end of your loan. So now you end up with 220 again. All right. So by putting them on the back end of the loan, you're immediately made current if you take the deferment option. Here's what I do not recommend. There's 2 options I don't recommend you take right now if you don't have guidance. Number 1, don't take the refinance option if you don't have guidance. And don't take the option that they will do a modification of your loan. Don't take that option either if you don't have guidance. All right? The only one that I would recommend without guidance, without help, is the deferment option, which places those payments on the back end, keeping you with the same number of payments and making you current immediately. Now, if you are not in good shape after 3 months, take the extension. Don't take what they're saying, and it may sound like that's all you have. Take the extension. And sometimes you can go on the website and just click a few buttons to get the extension. You don't even have to talk to anybody. Now, here's the other thing you need to know. When they call you, all right, I wish, let me see who's in the room right now, because, I haven't looked in a minute. Okay, because I was hoping that Credit Goddess was here. But listen to this, watch this. When they call you, they'll always start out with that this line is going to be recorded, and any information we get from you will be used to collect the debt. This is a debt collector. Now, here's what I need to tell you. Any question that they ask you that is not specifically about, do you want to extend your going into what were we talking about? What's the term? I forgot already.
Forbearance, I think.
Forbearance, okay. Any questions they ask you about, do you want to come out of forbearance or stay in forbearance? Any other question, you don't have to answer. Which bank do you bank at? You don't have to answer that. All right. How many accounts do you have? You don't have to answer that. We want to update your address. You have my address. Don't ask me anything about my address. Don't ask me anything about my phone number. You do not have to answer any of those questions. If you do, they just told you what? Any information we get from you, we're going to use that to collect a debt. So if they want to get funny and say, listen, they told us where their bank was. Oh, Miss Kelly. Miss Kelly is here. Miss Kelly, can you help me out here?
I just jumped back in. I'm dropping my kids off. Give me a little bit, and then I can give you a lot back.
All right. So here's what we're saying. So any information they collect from you, don't give them any information. Don't even give them your phone number. Don't give them your address. Don't tell them where you bank. Don't tell them anything. You're only on that conversation about one thing, your forbearance. And so you are not required to answer any other question. I want to make that abundantly clear. And if they ask you, you say, okay, well, I didn't come here to talk about that. You have my information, and whatever information you have has not changed. So I'm not answering any questions about that. Do you know they have to stop asking you? All right, so I just want you to know that. So the other thing is, when it comes to forbearance, take as much time as you need.
Wait,
update.
Don, who is the they? Where are you talking about debt collectors or
Any debt
who
collector.
who are
So
we talking?
yeah, this is what
Okay.
I was talking about, Kelly. So when the bank calls and says, okay, we're you want to go into forbearance, and they always start out, this is a recorded line, and um, we're a debt collector, and any information we get from you, we can use to collect that debt. They tell you that up front. So what I'm saying is, if you're not talking about the very thing that's specific to you, don't answer any other questions. You're not required to answer any questions. Where do you bank? How many bank accounts do you have? Updating your telephone number, updating your address. You are not required to answer any of those questions. Is that correct, Kelly?
Absolutely correct. And you never want to do that. For one, you don't know who you're talking to on the phone. If you have
Mhm.
a debt with them or you have business with them, they know all the information already. And if they don't know, they don't need to know. Because they need to figure out why they're doing business with someone they don't know. So that's not your job, that's their job. And the reason why you have to be, you know, and I don't care how polite they get, right? Because you never know who is on the other end of that phone. That's why they're supposed to have all their information accurate and verifiable. You're not the one that needs to verify that. You need to make sure it's accurate, and that is by your method of contact, which they've already established when you establish that account. And we have to get real stern about that, because this is how people are getting their identity stolen. These are how people are getting taken advantage of and paying junk fees that they don't even owe. So if you need to call any institution, make sure you're only handling your business with the least amount of information as possible, and anything else that you're not clear of, they can correspond to you by your method of choice, was probably the mail.
There you go. So here's what we're talking about, folks. Even if the entity you're talking to is exactly who you need to be talking to, it is not a scam. That it is your bank. You absolutely sure it is your bank. You're still not required to answer any of those questions that is not pertaining to what you are talking to them about, your forbearance. I'm not answering any questions about my email address, my telephone number, my address. I'm not answering any of those questions, and some of them will say, listen, for us to go into forbearance, it'll make it sound like they need to know, well, are you still working? Well, you don't need to know that. How much money are you making? You don't need to know that. All right. So they're going to ask all of these questions to make it sound as if they need it for you to go into forbearance. You don't need to answer any of those questions except one. Have you been adversely affected by COVID? That's the only question you need to answer. And the answer is yes. Any other question, you're not required to answer. Yes or no, Kelly?
Absolutely. And they'll even pitch it as, oh, we want to update your files. You don't need to update anything other than what I'm calling to handle. That's it.
That's it. Okay. And I hope that has been beneficial to someone, to let you know it may sound official, it may sound like they need it. You don't need to answer any of those questions, especially when you want to go into an extension of the forbearance. And now they say, well, to get the extension of 3 more months, then you need to answer these questions. No, you don't. Uh-uh. You don't have to answer any of those questions except one. Have you been adversely affected by COVID? The answer is yes. Give me my extension.
Hey
Anybody
Don,
else got
so
any?
Nancy,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, Nancy added some more comments in the chat, and I'm not
Go
sure if
ahead.
this is just additional information that needs a response or just clarity. But she said, I
Yeah.
paid the principal and insurance during the COVID 3 months, and they did the defer option. When I was due a refund for escrow overpayment, it was automatically applied to first missed payment. Any thoughts on that statement?
They shouldn't have done that. The only way they could do that is with your permission. Um, so if you're in deferment, I'm sorry, if you're in forbearance, stay in forbearance. They'll say you can make payments if you need to. Don't do it. If you're going to be in forbearance, be in forbearance. Don't give them any money. That's what it's for. They'll try to talk you into doing things, but you don't need to. It is by law. You don't have to do this. So, but once you pay it, then you're in essence saying it's okay. So if they did it without your permission, and this is why you don't answer any of these questions, because you may have inadvertently given them permission to do just that. And without knowing all that you went through, I don't know. Okay. But if it's just one payment, listen, here's what we're talking about. For future reference, be careful what information you give to a debt collector. You're not required to answer any questions. And to come out of forbearance, the best and easy way is to get a deferment, put all the payments on the back end, even if it's all 18 months, bring me current, and start making your mortgage payment again. That's the way to come out of forbearance. Any other questions about that? Let me take a look here. I paid the principal, blah, blah, blah. When I was due a refund and escrow overpayment, it was automatic. Give them a call. I would give them a call and see if you could get that money back. All right. So listen, I was due that money. You weren't supposed to take it. I did not give you permission to do that. And if that's the case, you're due that money back. Or they can give you a credit, or one way or the other. They have to send you a check, or just make it so you don't have to make a payment. Any way you can get that money back, get the money back if you did not give them permission to do that. And that's the other thing is, right now you said you got escrow, and if for some reason they start playing funny, if your mortgage is the type of mortgage you do not have to escrow to pay your taxes and insurance, did you know you can pay your taxes and insurance on your own? You do not have to escrow with every type of mortgage. You see, it sounds like they're doing you a favor, but in essence, what they're doing is they're giving you a savings account that pays no interest. You're putting that extra money from your mortgage payment in that savings account so that they can pay your taxes and insurance yearly. But they're putting it into an account that makes them no money. Now, why do they want to do that? Because of fractional reserve lending. Every dollar the bank has on deposit, they can lend out between $7 and $9 for every dollar they have on deposit. So they actually are lending out money they don't even have, based on all the money that you give them. This is why they want you to open up a checking account. This is why they want you to open up a savings account. This is why they want you to escrow with them, so that for every dollar that they have there, they can lend out 7 or 8. If your loan does not require an escrow, I counsel my clients to pay their own taxes and insurance, and I'll show you how to use that money to save you tons and tons of interest on your mortgage. All right. Anybody else? Anything else? Oh,
Nope.
Somebody's asking online here, will this affect your credit score? Absolutely not. The forbearance, by law, they cannot charge you interest. They can't report you late. But this is why you need to read the CARES Act for yourself. And if you don't quite understand it, take it to your lawyer and let your lawyer help you to interpret it. Number one, by taking the forbearance, it does not adversely affect your credit score. They can't report you late. They cannot charge you interest, period. And that was the whole purpose. Now, here's the thing, folks. We're already in distress because of COVID. And now the government says you don't have to pay the mortgage. And now they're going to turn around and say, okay, you're going to get behind. we're going to count you 18 months late, and then go in. No. They've already taken care of that. They said you don't have to do this. You don't have to pay interest. We can't count you late. And when you come out of forbearance, ask for a deferment. We'll put the payments on the back end, and then you're counted current immediately. If for any reason you cannot do the deferment, then give us a call and we'll guide you through the other options in a way that it will save you money. You need somebody that's advocating for you on the phone. I'm trying to tell you, folks, these folks calling from the bank are following a script, and their job is to save themselves as much money as possible. Their job is not to interpret the CARES Act for you. Their job is not to save you money, but to save their bosses money. You need somebody advocating for you. And if you want to work with us, we will set it up so that you get on a 3-way call, and I will be on the call with you. All right? And we'll save you thousands of dollars. Therefore, and I'm making it clear, if I'm saving you thousands of dollars, please don't call me and ask me to do this for you for free. I am not doing it. All right, Jared, back to you.
All right. Great question. I appreciate that. I learned a lot as well. So yeah, if you're new to the room, make sure to click the greenhouse at the top, follow the club. And if you're not following Don, he's the guy in the upper left-hand corner. I know it sounds like it's coming from Kirk, but it's actually coming from the upper left. So make sure you go to that upper left-hand corner with a picture of him and Eric Thomas. Click his profile, give him a follow, click the bell next to it, click always. And also check out Kenyatta, Kelly, 10K Cards, Kirk, and Coffee Brown. They all host great rooms. Your hallway is curated by who you follow. So we would love to get some more questions to the stage. So if you'd like to come up and ask about a refinance, your mortgage, car loans, credit card debt, student loans, raise your hands, come to the stage. We would love to answer your questions. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter watching the live stream, write your questions into the chat, and Kirk will make sure that you are acknowledged, and we will answer your questions as well. And if you want to see these examples live on your screen, go to ice10kvideos.com. You can see the instructions in the chat, and then you can go ahead and get to Don's YouTube channel, choose the option that says live, and you can watch these examples live on your screen. And I want to thank the 9 people that have shared this room. Love to see that number continue to go up. So click that share button, share in the hallway, ping your friends in, and let's get your people in the room. I see Chris has raised his hand, so hopefully we can get him up on the stage. Been having technical difficulties with that recently.
Yeah,
so Chris,
so
if
Chris,
you see the... Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jared.
Oh, no, go for it, Don.
No, I was just going to say, Chris, if you need to, if you can hear us, you may want to go out and then come back in so that we can invite you up. We've been trying to get you up. It's not that we haven't seen you. We're trying to get you up here. So go out, come back in, raise your hand. And Jared, you may want to try turning hand raising off and turning it back on. That also helps sometimes. So anyway, folks, what we're doing here is the information that some of you have heard about the CARES Act, the forbearance. Some of you didn't know that, and we're getting feedback online here about this information and on the chat on Clubhouse. Please, this information is valuable. Ping some people in here. Share it out in your hallway. It's free to do. Share it in your hallway so more people can come in to get this valuable information. Everybody uses loans. Everybody needs to be able to find out that you do not have to pay all of this interest, and you need to have some instruction on how to deal with the banks, especially when they call you up pretending to be your friend. Now, I love the bank. I borrow their money all the time, and I get it at a discount. And we're going to teach you how to do the same. So I'm not anti-bank, but please remember, a bank is a business. They are not your friend, and they're not going to give you the best advice. Okay, they'll give you some advice, but it won't be the best advice. That's coming from here. That's coming from somebody who knows, who's been through the mill, that understands this, and can tell you, here's how the bank is making their money, and you do not have to go down that route. You can listen. If you're supposed to pay the bank $100,000 for the life of your loan, and I can show you how to pay 15 or 20,000 instead, that's a huge savings. I'm not talking about saving you $5 or $10. That is a $25 or $30,000 savings to acquire the same asset that you do not have to give the bank. Why give it to them when you don't have to? So to manage your debt, everybody, including the financial gurus, especially the guy in Tennessee, says that you have to focus on throwing all of your money at the debt. And I'm trying to tell you that to manage your debt, the easiest and the most efficient way is to stop paying all that interest. You don't need more money to get out of debt. All you need to do is pay less interest. All right. Any questions? Are we ready to get any questions on the stage? Come on, folks, get on up here. Start sharing this out in the room. We've got 29 people here, and we've got 10 shares. That will not do. Come on, folks, share it out there a little bit more. So people, even if you've already shared it, share it again so we can get more people in here. Jared, back to you.
Yeah. So one example I haven't heard in, a couple of weeks that I think is really, really compelling, and everybody, you definitely want to share the room for this example, if there are none. But I love for questions to, get in front of mine. So if you have a question, jump up now. But I'm going to selfishly ask a question for Don, because I think everybody in this room has one. Everybody has kids that probably have one or will have one, and this will be really important. Student loan larceny. Would love to see that example today, if that's cool.
Yeah, we can get it up. It's going to take a couple of seconds to get it up, though, but I'm pulling it up now.
All right, cool. Yeah, so this is something that you can get from the book, which Don will talk about afterwards. But this doesn't only apply to mortgages or refinances. This can apply to anything interest-wise, and student loans is something that everybody has in their lives. So if you know somebody with a student loan, which is basically everybody that follows you and everybody you follow, I want you to click that share button, and I would love to see that number 10 go to 20, go to 25, and ping people in the room that may never pay off a student loan until the day they die. And seeing this example, they're going to see how they can pay it off in a much, much faster pace. And this will also help you understand the impact of the P.I.L.L method. So please share this room. And and also come on stage if you have questions. I'll ask this question, but I'd love it if you could get your answer.
I think we got it. Kurt, do you see it?
Yeah, you kind of cut off Jared there, though. But yes, I see.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's good.
Ahead,
Let's get into the value. Back to you, Don.
All right. I think Jared was just stalling until I get it up, Kurt.
Pretty much. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right, folks. Here's what you were talking about: student loan larceny. All right. So here's a situation where we have a $9,500 loan. $9,500, not $95,000. $9,500 at 6%. This young man's payment was $50 a month. Why did he come to me? Because he just graduated and he bought a new car, and he wanted to be able to pay off his car and this student loan. And he came to me innocently enough and says, well, how can I best do this? And I said, well, your payment is $50 a month. How long should it take you to pay off $9,500? And I had him give me a couple of guesses. All right. So how many years should it take? And then what we actually found out was it's actually going to take 601 months. 201 months to pay this loan off like this. That's 50 years. Okay, folks, did you just hear what I said? $9,500 at $50 a month at 6% interest will take 50 years to pay off. Here's how this loan breaks down. All right. Look and see how much interest the bank wants on this loan. $20,550. If you take a look at the total repaid, it's going to be $30,050. And the total interest paid as a percentage of principal is not 6%, it's 216.316%. So here's how the amortization schedule breaks down. Out of that first $50 payment, look at this. A pitiful $2.50 goes to principal, and a huge $47.50 goes to interest. And now on your $9,500 loan, at the end of the first payment, you still owe $9,497.50. There it is. Now on line 2, since you owe less, you're going to pay a little bit more to principal and a little bit more to interest. Take a look at line 2, where $2.51 goes to principal and $47.49 goes to interest. Now, here's what I need you to see. And this is how we turn these loans around. Let's just say he made his first payment in January, where $2.50 goes to principal, $47.50 goes to interest. But we're still in January, but he can see that his principal payment is going to be $2.51. Do you realize he can pay the $2.51 early? If he pays the $2.51 early in January, he's paid down to line 2 on his amortization schedule, where his balance is $9,494.99. That $2.51 goes straight to principal. No interest comes out of that money. And when that happens, line 2 of this schedule is eliminated, taken out. You don't have to. That line 2 is gone for $2.51, not $50, but just for $2.51. And then your next payment for February drops down to line 3. So if that's the case, what happened to the $47.49 on line 2? That's right. It got canceled. For paying the $2.51 early, you just knocked off $47.49 in interest you never have to pay, and you go immediately to line 3 on your amortization schedule. Now, because of what we just learned, if we make this student loan payment just like the bank wants us to for 12 straight months, look at the cumulative principal column. That's the third column in. They will pay this loan down by $30.84. And immediately to the right, that's cumulative interest, they will pay $569.16 to do that. Are you kidding me? In 1 year, they're only going to pay this loan down by $30, but it's going to cost $569 in interest to do that? That has to be highway robbery. That is crazy money. Watch this. Here's my question. Now that we know that we're going to pay the $30.84, do we have to pay it in 12 monthly installments? Or could we pay the $30.84 up front? Pay our regular payment, give the bank an extra $30.84, and be paid down to line 12 on this amortization schedule in just 1 month, instead of doing it over 12 months. Well, look what happens. Let's prepay the $30.84. When we do, look at that. All that interest between line 2 and line 12 has been canceled, eliminated, and you just saved yourself what? The interest that you would have paid to get it there if you had done it the bank's way. Over $500 in interest saved because you found $30.84 and gave it to the student loan company early. Well, let's not stop there. What if you did this? Look here, 25 months. That's $66.39. If you pay this loan for 2 years, 1 month, like they want you to, you pay the loan down by $66.39, but it will cost you $1,183.61 to do it. What if you gave the bank the $66.39 up front? Knocked off 2 years worth of payments with $66.39 and save yourself over $1,100 in interest you never have to pay. Oh my God. I get excited every time I do this example. Does anybody have any questions about what we've just seen, Kirk or Jared? Anybody? Oh my goodness.
People are just responding. They online they're just responding. So Nikki Tomlin is saying, thank you so much, Don. And then she said, I see it. So just responding to what they're seeing here, responding to the information that's being shared.
So listen, if you
Don,
go ahead, Jared.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you have a bestseller on Amazon that breaks down the method that helps with student loans. How did you come up with this, and what can people expect if they purchase this book?
Well, listen, how did I come up with it? Well, it wasn't because I sat down and said, well, I'm going to figure out how these loans work. I can't remember how I happened upon looking at an amortization schedule, the first time I ever saw one. But because I have Asperger's, which is, a mild form of autism, because I'm autistic, when I take a look at an amortization schedule, I see the patterns that are lining up. And these patterns tell me that the way the bank is doing this, they make a ton of money. Well, the patterns also tell me we can save a ton if we just know how to read it and do things just a little bit differently. Because we have learned how to not only understand it, but have the ability to explain it to other people, Jared, we actually wrote this book. It is the only book on Amazon out of 33 million titles that helps people to understand how an amortization schedule works and how to defeat it. Meaning, how do they cut their interest costs by 75%? By using education and technology. We have built a technology, a cloud-based, artificially intelligent computing platform that does all of the math and guides you like financial GPS, telling you how much of your money do you move, what month do you move it on, what day of the month do you move it in, which loan do you pay it to, and we're going to figure out how much interest you save, and it will be the maximum amount of interest per dollar every time you do that, so that you can pay off all of your debt, your student loans, your credit cards, everything in an average of 7 to 9 years. That is what's going on here. That's what's going on in that book. And not only are we giving the book, Jared, but of that 10K card that you see above my head there, we're going to make sure that you get a 10K card that goes along with it. So once you buy the book, and get the book today, as a matter of fact, Kenyatta, if you're in the house, please tell them how can they get their 10K card once they purchase this book.
So you bought the book. What you want to do is screenshot the receipt, upload it to Don10klive.com. Click the link that says I'm ready. It's going to be over to your right, the second slot down. You're going to build it out to your specifications. That includes your website, email address, phone number, social media handles. You're going to let us know where you want to receive it, and you'll have your own digital 10K card valued at $100.
All right, all right. So, folks, listen, we're doing some things here that nobody sees. The only place on Clubhouse, only place on YouTube, the only place on Facebook, the only place on Twitter and LinkedIn that they're talking about these issues, and the only place on Amazon, that talks about this is right here, right now, with the P.I.L.L method. No other company is giving you this information. And not only that, but we have an entire staff of trained people. Once you become our client, then our customer service people start to take over and help you with your education. All right, they're on duty 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. You become a client. You get access to the opportunity cost calculator, and then we actually teach you and guide you in the use of this thing so that you can even get a better response from the program. We're going to hold your hand all the way through. You know, we have people, Jared, who have taken advantage of this situation, and since 2008 have paid off 3 houses, have paid off 4 houses in that amount of time using this system. It's amazing. Thanks for asking.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you have not done so already, make sure to click the greenhouse, follow the club, follow Don, but more importantly, raise your hand, come on stage. We got an hour left. We would love to answer some questions live on the stage or live in the chat. It can be about refinance, it could be about mortgage, it could be about your car loans, your credit card debt. We just went through student loans, which was a master class, and definitely worth watching on the replays if you're new to the room. If you want to see the examples live on your screen, go to your iPad, your laptop, or your desktop, type in ice10kvideos.com, choose the panel that says live, and watch these examples with us live in YouTube while you're sitting in Clubhouse. So would love for somebody to raise their hand and ask a question. But if there is not one, Don, what example from the hundreds of people you helped pay off their mortgage in 7 years would you like to go through right
Well,
now?
right now, I want to talk about mindset, Jared. We have from my book. I was just taking a look at this. It says here. I'm reading from page 8 of my book. Every part of the American dream is affected by installment loans. Our homes, student loans, auto loans, credit cards, and lifestyles are impacted by the bank's method. The bank's method is helpful and harmful at the same time. It's helpful because it allows you to make a payment that you can afford. It's harmful because we don't understand how it works, and our ignorance is costing us a fortune. If we don't know how they do it, if we don't know how they're doing it, we don't know that we can actually save a ton. And the next part here is called homeowners are renters. All right. Well, listen to this part. 90% of the people you know with mortgages will never own their homes. By the end of a 30-year mortgage, a borrower can pay nearly twice the amount. Can pay nearly twice the amount of the amount borrowed. We tend to believe that the largest expense we have is our home, but the largest expense we actually have is servicing debt. The amount of interest that we are charged is a forgotten part of the purchase price. So, not only are you paying for the house, but you have to add in how much interest you pay. That's part of the purchase price. Banking is in control of our financial education, and how interest is charged is not a subject that's taught in schools. It's just not. We've been conditioned to believe that we are homeowners when we're really just renters. 90% of the students in your school system failed. If 90% of the students in your school system failed, yet refer to them as graduates, would you place your child and trust in that school system? How interest is charged is not taught at any point in our financial education process. And how interest is canceled is certainly not in the banking industry's textbook. If only 10% of borrowers you know ever reach the goal of owning a home, why do we have a sense of accomplishment when we call ourselves home owners? That part. Let me show you something here. We're going to put something on the screen that we're going to share here. All right. And this is a $204,000 mortgage. And because I have one screen, Kurt, I can't see if you can see it. You got it?
Oh, yeah, we got you.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Here's what's going on, folks. We have on the screen, and if you want to see this, you want to go to ICE 10K live, or go to ICE 10K videos and get you there faster. Go to ice10kvideos.com and click on where it says live, skip the commercial, and get in here and see this example of what we're talking about. Here's a lady. This is a family that wanted to be a home owner instead of a home buyer. You see, the reason why we call home buyers renters, because they go from renting an apartment or renting a house to renting their money for an entire lifetime. If you know somebody who has a mortgage and they never pay it off, I mean, they go to their grave. 90% of people who ever get a mortgage will never pay it off. Just count how many people you know that have actually paid one off. They'll go to their grave never owning a home, actually. But they're called homeowners. No, they're not homeowners. They're home buyers who never finish. And these folks didn't want to be in that position. You know what they told me? My parents have a mortgage, and my grandparents still have a mortgage. I don't want to have a mortgage my entire life. So we showed them this just before they closed. So they have a mortgage of $204,000 at 4% interest. All right. And I showed them what would happen if they didn't have our program, if they just made their payments on time. This is what would happen in the first 5 years of this mortgage, the first 60 months. They would pay $18,675.20 towards their principal, and it would cost them $37,325.80 in interest to do it. To pay down their home by $18,000 in the first 5 years would cost $37,000 in interest. How can that be fair? What are we doing here, folks? So let's learn how the bank does this so that we can buy our homes with a lot less money. So here's what's going on. If we take a look at this, after 5 years, this family will pay out $56,000 in 1 year. I'm sorry, in 5 years. $56,000 in the first 5 years. Out of that money, only $18,675 goes to pay down their loan. The rest of that, $37,000, goes to the bank so that they can invest it. Now, I'm going to tell you something else. And this is probably the first time I've mentioned this. But remember in the beginning, if you were in here from the beginning, I talked about fractional reserve lending. That the bank, for every dollar they have on deposit, they can lend out 7 or 8. Did you realize that most of us are borrowing money that doesn't even exist? And we sign a note that we're going to pay back this non-existent money with interest. The bank can lend out $7 or $8 or $9 for every dollar they have on deposit in fictional money. It's called fractional reserve lending. If you and I did it, it would be called counterfeiting. Are you hearing me? Not only are we they just write it into our accounts. You see, here's the thing. You don't go down to the bank and get a wheelbarrow full of money to take to somebody else to buy your house. They write it into your account. You never see a dollar of that. All you know is one day you wake up and the money is there. One day the title company says, we have received our money. It was written in their account. But I'm telling you, not $1, actual dollar, actually changed hands. $204,000 was written into somebody's account that didn't even exist. It doesn't exist until you start to pay it back with your hard-earned money. That's when it becomes real. And that's the truth of the matter. So now you're paying back this non-existent money with your money plus the interest. So in 5 years, they actually give back the bank $56,000 that the bank never actually loaned out. Isn't that crazy? So now they're paid their loan down by $18,675. And now we're going to take a look at how much interest does the bank want overall on this loan? $143,000, $143,000. And then we look down here and see, oh, the bank wants $143,000. So then I show them, here's what you could do. Which side do you prefer? All right. To pay back the $204,000 that you owe and do it over 30 years, and the bank can charge you $143,018 on top of that. So you're paying back $247,000. $247,000 actual dollars that you're paying back to the bank on 204 fictional dollars that they actually say they loaned you, but you signed a note that says you got to pay it. You can do that. You can do that part. Or you can borrow that fictional money at a discount and only pay out $41,000 of your dollars to pay off the $204,000 fictional dollars and pay it off in 7.5 years. Then you can then say, oh, I'm going to save over $108,000 that I do not have to pay to get my actual house paid off and get my actual equity that I have in the house that I can take out. I can take equity out. Now, here's what's happening. What if they took that $108,000 and over the next 22 years invested actual money into an investment? And look at this potential wealth accumulation. This is what I call a virtual 0% interest loan. A virtual 0% interest loan. Because see, listen, this 4% loan, which really means the bank wants you to pay back 71% of what you borrowed, 71.87% of what you borrowed. What if you did this? Paid off the entire loan in 7.5 years. Once you paid it off, what if you decided to keep paying that money to yourself? Do you realize in the same time you would have been, in the 30-year span you were supposed to pay it off, you can have over $815,000 in your investment so that you can get back all the interest that you've ever paid and then some. Oh, listen, I need to repeat this part. You can get back in life, you can get back all of the interest that you've ever paid and more on top of that if you take the money that you would have paid in interest and invest it. A virtual 0% loan, because now you're taking the interest that you would have paid and now you're going to make money with it instead of just giving it to the bank. Folks, that's what we're talking about here at the P.I.L.L method. That's what's going on here. So, do we have any questions? Do we have any comments? Jared, back to you, sir.
Yes, we got a question on the club. Oh, sorry, Kurt. We got a question on the Clubhouse stage. And Kurt, do we have something online?
We do, but I actually didn't say anything. Did you not hear me?
Oh, okay, sorry. It might have been feedback. My
Oh,
bad.
my bad. We do have something online as well from Nikki.
All right, perfect. Bella, thank you so much for coming to the stage and bringing your sunflower to the room. Please let us know what your question is. We'd love to help you.
Hi, good morning. Can you skip me for now and come back to me?
Absolutely. So,
That'd be
Kurt,
great.
what is the online question?
Yeah, I thought it was a question. After reading it in its entirety, it's actually a comment, but I think it's still appropriate to take right now. But yes, it's from Nikki, and she says, "I am actually a client. I'm a customer and started in February, and has saved $8,000 so far, and will pay off 2 mortgages in less than 5 years. Don helps me strategize and save more during our coaching sessions." My goodness. What a great comment. Thank you so much, Nikki, for coming through and sharing that with the audience today, letting people know that this is a practical example. This is really actually having impact on lives out there. All right. So thank you so much for that comment, Nikki.
Yeah. So, Don, if somebody wants to experience with Nick, go ahead, Don.
No, go ahead.
No, I was saying if the people in the audience or on the live stream want to experience that type of savings that Nick is experiencing, how would they reach out to you and be able to get that?
They would click that link at the top of the page if they're on Clubhouse, and if they're streaming this, they would go to ice10klive.com, and there's a button there that says get a savings and earnings report. And if you're online, we're going to see if we can put that representation up for you so that you can actually see it. Click that button that says get a savings and earnings report. Once you do that, then fill in the information. Follow all of your directions. Okay. Once you follow those directions, fill in the financial information. Someone from my staff will then give you a call and then set up a consultation. And then you can know the month, day, and year you can be debt free. All right. So listen, once you get to, once you can know how much you're going to be, once you know when you're going to be debt free, you can also know how much interest you are saving. And you can take that interest savings and invest it. And listen, and Nikki actually came to us as a referral from another client. What does she say here?
Yeah. So that's what I was going to say, Jared, is that Nikki's only response online is, "I love this. I want to say thanks to Dr. Dana Street for sharing this with me." I just only wanted to share that because of the power of the share, the power of the share, the power of the share. Jared's been asking people to share the room on Clubhouse. We've been encouraging folks to share this content, whether we're live or it's a replay. Just share the channel. Just share ICE 10K videos. That is the reason why we are putting this out here is so that people can see it. They can share it. This comment that Nikki has shared right here, it'll be burned into the video. People can read this as they watch along in the replay. So it is a testimony that will not only have impact right now, but it'll have impact for years to come. And it's so much of a powerful thing when you can share good information with somebody that you know and love.
Absolutely, 100%. So Bella, just flash your mic whenever you're ready to ask your question. Or are
Hey,
you ready?
well, yeah, actually, I have a statement. I heard you mention student loans, Jared, and I attended a webinar yesterday from the Department of Education, and I wanted to just share something with the room, if you don't mind.
Sure, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so it has to do with debt cancellation as well. And for anyone who has a student loan uh, and has made payments on it since 2007, you can get credit for, well, now there's a temporary waiver in place where you can get credit for paying into the public service loan forgiveness program. So, for instance, I've been working for government for about 8 years now, and I haven't participated in the program because when I called, I just thought the 120 payments were going to be too expensive for me to pay versus my um, pay as you go plan, or my based on my income plan. And so I didn't sign up. But now President Biden has put into place a waiver so that I can go back and claim all of those payments I've made during the last 8 years towards my qualifying 120 payments, and then get the balance forgiven. So I just wanted to share that with everyone. The website is studentaid.gov. That's studentaid.gov. And if you're a parent and you have your own um, student loans, you can consolidate your plus loan and your regular student loans into a consolidated loan and qualify for forgiveness as well. Not for the regular plus loan, but if you are a parent, you can combine your own student loans plus your child's student loans and get that forgiven. So it's super valuable information. Studentaid.gov. It's only going on till the 30th or 31st of October. And you should sign up now because you have to get all of your employers in the past to sign a piece of paper, like physically sign. So, that might take a little while if you've had several employers. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with everybody. Studentaid.gov. It's a fabulous program, and it's going to wipe out my student loans. And I'm so excited. So, I'm telling everyone.
Oh, Bella,
Thanks.
thank you for that. And listen, um, um, and somebody should have told you even long ago, with your income-based payment, you still could have taken advantage. If you were working in one of those jobs where you can get your loans forgiven, those payments even then would have counted towards your 120 payments. You didn't have to increase your payments to take advantage of that program. So don't let anybody fool you. If you have an income-based payment program and you have a job whereby that you can enter into that forgiveness program, those payments count, but you have to make all 120 payments. All right, Ms. Bella, thank you so very much for that information. All right, what's next?
All right, all right. And check out the chat. Lily Lou says PSLF is only for qualified employment in public service. You have to consolidate with direct loans and make 120 payments under IBR, or check on if the payments are qualified under the program. Hopefully, they will extend the waiver past October 2022. But yeah, check out studentaid.gov, figure out if you qualify. But the worst they'll say is no if you sign up. So I figure might as well sign up. And if they say no, then hey, it is what it is.
It
Bella, your
actually,
thoughts?
yeah, one other thing is it actually also, the guy who gave the webinar yesterday actually added something that I had not read on the website, which is someone who is a full time proselytizer. So essentially, if you are a pastor, minister, uh, you know, someone who works in ministry or for the church, you can now qualify as well. In the past, it was only like government, first responders, so local, state, federal government, first responders, teachers, people who work in the public service. So anything you can construe as public service, nonprofits, etc. Those are the people who, those are qualifying employers. But I just urge you, go to studentaid.gov and read everything having to do with the waiver, and find out, the details for yourself.
Miss Bella, what brought you to the room today?
I saw your smiling face and I wanted to hear you talking.
So, have you been here before?
Yes, absolutely. You and I have talked before. It's been about a year, so I don't hold it against you.
Listen. When I saw Bella, I only know one Bella in the entire app, and it's you.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
So I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming in and sharing that, and that just proves the strength of our association together. And I'm just so glad that you're still here, that you're still coming, and you're still offering help to everybody who comes into the room. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
All right,
So-
all right. Kirk, any questions online that we can get to?
Not at this time. Not at this time. I want to encourage those that are watching online to ask some questions. Go ahead and jump in the chat. We will be able to get those questions answered for you. But right now, no, Jared, we do not have any questions online.
All right. Does anybody on Clubhouse want to come up and ask a question? Feel free to raise your hand and come on stage. We would love for you to ask a question. But in the meantime, one of our favorite moderators has just popped in, Miss Credit Goddess. Are you free to do a quick little introduction while we wait for questions to come on stage?
Yes. Hey, everyone. Happy Wednesday. My name is Rosalora Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I'm all things credit and the official credit expert for the P.I.L.L Method crew here. I'm a credit score improvement strategist, business credit consultant, and an educator at Free University. Sorry I'm late. I'm so tardy to the party today. But I'm here. If any of you guys have any questions, credit-related questions, feel free to come on up. Don't be shy.
Better
Good
late than
morning.
never. Always. Oh, good. Sorry. Go ahead.
Hi,
Don.
Don.
All right, dear.
Better late than never. And we appreciate you, Credit Goddess. Make sure you tap in with her. She does amazing rooms and has amazing services off the app. So, Lily, thank you for the value dropped in the chat and coming to the stage. Do you have a question that you'd like to ask? Or, yeah, please unmic and share.
Hey everyone, good morning. Thank you for the space and having me on the stage here. I just wanted to contribute some thoughts on the student loan topic as well. And I think there's Kim B in the chat also talking about her husband's student loans. So I've been following this pretty heavily. I do have student loans, working through them in a couple different ways. But for the public service loan forgiveness program, I just wanted to share some information with everyone. So yes, it has been around since 2007. There have been a lot of challenges with the program. Before the pandemic, about 99% of people who applied got denied. And there were a lot of issues with not having the right consolidation or not having the right number of payments tracked. And a lot of people that were relying on this then had to keep paying beyond the 10-year program. And you have to make 120 payments, or qualified payments, I should say, to be eligible for forgiveness. Since the pandemic, and there's been changes in the Department of Education, a waiver went into place last October that was good for a year up till this October, that reconciled a lot of the denials that people were facing. So getting payments to count that didn't count before, getting the credit for the proper employment, things like that. So you're seeing a lot of people now that are getting forgiveness or will soon be eligible. Their payment count is up. With that being said, though, I do want to just caution people, because one of the issues with these forgiveness programs is that you generate a lot of interest. And so the income-based repayment, or income contingent repayment, those other payment plans, a lot of public employees have lower salaries, so the payments are based on what those salaries are. However, the payment is lower than the rate of accrual of interest each month. So you add that up over 10 years and your loan is ballooning. So if anything happens where you change employment or you don't have the number of payments, now you're looking at a massive loan that you would be responsible for if it's not forgiven. So it's very important to document and make sure that you're tracking what you understand to be qualified payments. You're working with the department. Your loan is consolidated properly. It's supposed to be consolidated with direct loans. There's a lot in play there. I wish it was as simple as it should be, but there are a lot of challenges with the program. So it's important to just watch what's going on month to month and make sure that you're on track. Last thing I'll say real quick is that there are some other forgiveness programs where your payments over 20 years would then be eligible, your balance would be eligible for forgiveness. We haven't gotten there yet, so people that I think probably by 2025 or 2030, those folks that have been in the program will start to see that they should be eligible for forgiveness, but we're waiting to see where that lands. And one more thing, I think many of us have been seeing that the payment pause on student loans has been in effect since the pandemic really got going here back in 2020. And there's been about 5 or 6 extensions where the 0% was in place and no payment was due. And the payments were supposed to start May 1st. I think a lot of us have been pretty anxious to see where that was going to land. But there is talk, I believe the Department of Education is extending again until the end of August. But, at some point we're waiting to see if Biden will pursue massive forgiveness here, because a lot of these loans have left people, and I've been impacted by this as well, where you owe more than you borrowed to the point that you have to pay almost double. And that's really the danger, I think, in how these loans have accrued interest. And then the interest capitalization is another issue. So if you don't watch it, the interest accrues faster than you can pay it, and then they add the interest to the loan and charge you interest on top. So I've looked at a variety of different ways to tackle that in terms of the snowball payment method and really trying to get that debt down. But again, the 0% we've seen over the past 2 years has been a blessing. Hopefully folks have been able to take advantage of that and just get to the actual principal, because the way these loans are set up, even if you're paying extra, you cannot pay the principal until all the interest is paid. That's on the same studentaid.gov website. That's how these loans have been set up from the beginning, and that's why we're in this crisis. So I just wanted to leave that information. I hope that helps folks that are in the room and strategize on how to tackle this debt. And I'll land here. Thank you.
If I could add just one more thing, the gentleman yesterday said that the 2 years of COVID, just COVID, that the forbearance has been in place will count towards your 10 years. So 120 payments is 10 years of payments. The 2 years we've been in COVID will give you, 24 months? So you now have 8 years to account for versus 10. That's it.
All right.
Yeah, definitely agree. That will count so long as you're in the income-based repayment program and you've certified with a qualified employer. So that's government, nonprofit, etc. You have to continue proving that you're eligible for the program through certification. But if you're doing that retroactively, then they will look at the 2-year window. That's correct.
All right, folks, thank you so very much for that information. And what we're hearing is exactly right, especially about capitalization. When you get an income-based repayment program, they don't restructure the loan. It's not re-amortized. So the amount of payment that you have may be less than the interest you actually owe that month. In other words, if you make a payment, if the interest you owe that month is $100, but your payment is $75, That means every single month, that extra $25 is added to your loan. It becomes capitalized, and yes, you start to pay interest on your interest. If you are not in one of these uh, um, professions that you can enter into this loan forgiveness program, the kind of loan I just described is called a negatively amortized loan. Our program pays off even those negatively amortized loans in an average of 7 to 9 years. Now, why would someone take the loan forgiveness for 10 years instead of my program that pays off the loan in 7? Here's why. Because if you take my program, you have to pay off the entire amount of the loan, the entire principal. Okay? And there's nothing I can do about that. I can pay it off in 7, but that means you have to pay the entire amount. What you want to take a look at is do the math. Credit God is flashing like crazy. What you want to do is just do the math, because the 10 years worth of payments is going to be less than the entire principal that you owe. You know, we've had people that came to us that were in the forgiveness program that said, I'm in the forgiveness program, but I want to be done in 7 years. I said, well, you realize you have to pay off the entire loan. You're better off where you are. Don't enter into my program. That's Credit Goddess. You have something you need to say about this?
I was just going to say it flat out. They just don't want to pay it. They don't want to pay the student loans. But I'm glad that Lily came up and pretty much explained like what's happening, and then you also brought it into, whether you're paying $0 based on your income. Because I used to work for a company and we did consolidations, when the program was announced by the Obama administration, and people thought it was like a scam. But yeah, we are up in the 10-year mark now. And Lily, I wanted you to clarify when you said 99% of them were getting denied. Are you saying they were getting denied, getting it forgiven, or getting it denied to get into the program?
They were getting denied for forgiveness of the loans. And the reason why that was happening was people would apply and then be told, oh, you didn't consolidate with the right lender, or,
Mm,
oh, these payments weren't actually qualified. And, back in 2007 to even 2010, when I was looking at it, there was not as much clarity as there is today. Okay.
yeah.
So there was a lot of confusion. You didn't know, what you were, if you were on the right track. You would call the hotline and they didn't know what they were talking about. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to mess with this anymore. I'm just going to pay. And that was the trajectory I went on. But a lot of people that were applying back in basically 2017 to up to 2020, you can see the articles are online. It was about 99% getting denied. And that was back when Betsy DeVos was the head of Department of Education. But, when you look at the impact of that, meaning that you have people that are teachers, public servants that are on lower income that have to then start over again, they can't retire, they can't buy a house, they can't pay on their kids' college. I mean, this is having a massive impact for people. So they needed to re-look at what was wrong and start making those adjustments. We're seeing that now. We're not there 100%, but we're seeing a lot of improvement now.
That's good. Yeah, you're right. The loans had to be consolidated into Fed loans, and a lot of people were getting the loans consolidated, but not getting it bought by Fed loans, so that way they can handle it, because they were handling the public service loan forgiveness program. And we would tell people that, of course, they had to pay for the service, but they was like, I'll do it myself and consolidate it. And okay, I guess we're seeing it now. If we were not properly educated, or like you said, they didn't get clarification. But I did work for a company and we were trained on this, on if you were coming from an FFEL, or if you were in a repayment plan, or sometimes they were in the wrong program too. It was a lot, but we had to learn ourselves. But this information was just not put out there because everybody thought it was a scam. So And then also the loan servicer did not properly do it either. Like, they wanted your loans to stay with them, especially if you were with Navient or Great Lakes, and people were learning about the loan forgiveness program. They were consolidating it. But if you were a public service, I guess this is where the miscommunication came from. Oh, well, your loans had to be transferred over to Fed Loans so they can handle that. So I see where it is. And then also too, if your loans get forgiven, you have to pay taxes on it, because that now becomes income. So you have
Actually,
to pay taxes.
that's actually incorrect. He made specific to say yesterday that it is
Mm-hmm.
not considered income.
Taxable income is not
It
taxable income.
It's
is
not
not
taxable
considered
income.
taxable income. No.
No, the CARES Act
No.
included a change in the IRS tax code to give an exemption for the amount forgiven. So that is not
Oh,
taxable as it
nice.
stands. That's through 2025.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
what I
what I
heard,
heard,
what I
what I
just
just
heard.
heard.
Oh, I'm sorry. What I just heard was there is going to be a temporary reprieve, folks. And I just said this on Credit Goddess's stage yesterday. If you plan to do something and you hear something, do it today, not tomorrow, not next week, and keep dragging your feet and let that 5 years, or in some of this information goes away in October. Do not drag your feet on this information. Find out what you can find out right now. Start now. And you're going to have to put in some time, but start now and put in the time. And eventually you'll get to the end. But if you start a week from now you're going to be a week later in getting done. If you start 2 weeks from now, you're going to be 2 weeks later in getting done. But if you start today, oh my gosh, you can get done a lot sooner. So start this thing today. Folks, we're talking about a mindset here. All right. And I just heard you say something, Credit Goddess, that you tried to help people, but because they didn't want to, once you get once you give them the information and say, listen, this is a service I'm providing you, and I will walk you through all of it, and you won't make any mistakes, and the service is guaranteed. You just pay me this. And they'll say, nope, I can do it myself, and
Yes.
end up paying do it wrong and end up paying way more than they would have
Yes.
ever paid you. Listen, we run into that all the time. The mindset, you know what that's called? The fear of loss is greater than the desire for gain. The fear of loss, what they would have paid Credit Goddess, what they would have paid me for my service, the fear of loss is greater than the desire for gain, meaning the $108,000 I could save you doesn't loom as large as the small fee I'm going to charge. The fee looms larger than the benefit. And that is a mindset shift, people. And this is why we're talking about in May, we're talking about having a mind shift. We're going to have some of the top names from Clubhouse at our conference in May. And you need to be there. All right. So this is going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, at the Gaylord Opryland Resort in Nashville, so that you can get a mindset that will help you to make decisions in the right way. Do you see that we're going to have 16 speakers on stage that are tops in their field, that are going to be talking about how they do business in credit, in lending, in acquiring properties, short-term rentals, and we're going to business credit, personal credit. All of that's going to be there. But you know what? They're also going to be talking about the mindset that got them there. Okay, not just the business, but the mindset. Those things that they did to help them to get the right attitude that determined their altitude in their business. And the top mindset coach, the number one motivational speaker in the world, is going to be there. His name is Dr. Eric Thomas. And we want to roll a little bit of footage right here to introduce you to developing a spiritual money mindset in Nashville in May. Go ahead, roll it, please.
In these uncertain times, the pandemic is still fresh on our minds. Gas and food prices increasing, and talk of Web 3.0 and the metaverse delight some and strike terror in others. Entrepreneurs, once enthusiastic about the future, now question the calling on their life. Some will find answers online, others will turn to trends and fads, but the real solution is a change in mindset. Your mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. It influences how you think, feel, and behave in any given situation. If mindset shapes all of that, then what influences mindset? Our answer: exposure. Exposure to a new environment. Exposure to experiences from those who have seen this before. Exposure to what works for those with proven track records that what they're doing is working. P.I.L.L Method Seminars presents Developing a Spiritual Money Mindset. 3 days at the Gaylord Opryland Resort in Nashville, Tennessee, where you'll be exposed to leaders in real estate, leaders in the metaverse, leaders in building a financial legacy. Expose yourself to the top motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas, in person. It's all happening May 20th through 22nd. Go to ice10kevents.com to purchase your ticket today.
There in May. Not only that, but we're going to hear a little bit from Dr. Eric Thomas himself. And after he's done, I'd like Sean 10K to come in and talk about why this program is going to be well worth your time and effort. Go ahead.
This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Your grandma counting on you to do the right thing. Your mama counting on you. Your cousins, your brothers and sisters are counting on you to cash in on this opportunity. Everybody want to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. There are kids that don't get what they don't eat like you eat. They're at the same university. They don't get what you get. But with this right here, your skill set, this thing can take you wherever you want to go and then take your kids wherever you want them to go. You know how many people would die to have the gear y'all got? You know how many people would die to get on these planes and travel the world? You know how many people would die to have your life? And you got it. Let's go. You got money, but do you got that dog? Yeah, you got money, you got privilege, but do you got that dog? Do you got that stamina? So yeah, you might have something I don't have right now, but if I work hard, I can have what you have. I want you to chant it out. This is it. Be phenomenal or be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. Last time. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten.
Okay.
At some point, we've all listened to Eric Thomas when it comes to motivation. You know, sometimes you may be hit with the job loss. You may be hit with a relationship problem, with a health problem. And you can tap into almost any one of Eric Thomas' videos and you can pull yourself back up. And, you know, to know that he's going to be at the event, guys, this is a historical move right there. So I would recommend everyone that's actually hearing of this event, make sure you schedule a trip to Tennessee on May 20th to the 22nd, because not only you'll be getting motivation from Eric Thomas, but Don is going to be there live in person, breaking down the interest cancellation to you. Kenyatta is going to be speaking on how to get your business ready for funding. You're going to have, what's my boy name? Otis James is going to be there. Jay Massey is going to be there speaking of the cash flow diary. All these big hitters are going to be in the house, guys. So you can hear them on Clubhouse, and that's one thing. But being in proximity, guys, is everything. Even Anthony Glenn will be there to speak on veterans home loan. So any veteran that you know or you're connected to that need to find the answers, the secret as to how to maximize on their benefits, bring them to that event. The reality of the situation is no more are the times where we didn't have access to the information. Now we have access to all of the information. The question is, what are you going to do about it? So my recommendation, guys, everyone definitely grab a copy of the ticket, bring a friend, and most importantly, share this event with all of your network. Share it with your entire network, and let's fill this place up. We're gonna be doing a massive promotion next week to get all those tickets out, and it's not gonna be what ticket can you get. It's can we actually accept any more ticket holders. So don't be a part of that crazy rush, guys. Secure tickets early, and also share it on your social media. Share it with your friends, because this is gonna be a once in a lifetime event that will only get better. And if you've ever been praying for a better way, if you've ever been praying to be position yourself and your family where you're more desirable, then definitely this is the event to go to. So, Don, I'm looking forward to being there. I'm looking forward to bringing the entire family. And most importantly, seeing some of these familiar faces that we're always spending time with. And if anyone in the audience is thinking twice, should you come? Sean 10K is telling you, I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And I'm proud of the decision that you're about to make right now. With that said, Captain Don, back to you.
Listen, folks, I need you to understand one thing about, because Sean is going to be there talking about marketing. He's going to be there talking about marketing. And one of the things that we learn in marketing is that there's a certain period called an early bird period. Okay. And during that early bird period, people, they often start signing up during that period. Some people don't wait till the early bird period. When there's a certain point in any effort that you have a deadline, that you start the massive push to sell the rest of the seats. I'm telling you, this will sell out. When we start this push, all the tickets will be gone in a week. So don't wait till the push. Do it now. And not only that, but we will provide you a link whereby you can be there with us for the 3 days, and you will not have to pay $500 a night at a 5-star hotel. We've gotten the price down to $278 a night for you. So please take advantage of it while you can. When the rooms are gone, they're gone. When the tickets are gone, they're gone. So don't wait until the end and find out I should have gotten it when they said that there was plenty. Don't wait till next week, okay? Because it will sell out. Thank you so very much, everyone, for working together. Thank you, Kenyatta. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Sean 10K, for being there. And I want to reiterate, Eric Thomas will be there, but he won't be on the screen. He's going to be there live and in person. And if you wanted to talk with him, to sit down and talk with him just for an introductory 1-hour consultation, $10,000. And you get to, so if you go up and click on the link there, you can see the ticket prices. Even the most expensive ticket price is at 10 grand. So listen, and not only that, but all the information you're going to be getting as well. And I'm going to be there. Listen, we're going to be bringing you new information you've never heard before is going to be at this conference. All right. So listen, what's going on, Jared? We've got just a few minutes left.
Yeah, we just got a few minutes left. And the last thing I'll say about the conference is your network is your net worth. And the net worth that's going to be at this conference is ridiculous. That alone, in my opinion, is worth being there beyond all the amazing gems you'll get dropped and the experiences you'll have in the beautiful resort. But like just the proximity around millionaires that got there through mindset, that got there through adversity, that were in your position and were able to figure out how to level up, and they're going to give you the keys and accelerate your path to getting there. And plus, Don in person is a whole other experience. The 2 times I've seen Don present have been standing ovations. Nobody else got a standing ovation. Don always gets a standing ovation. So if you enjoy this room, the in-person experience is 100 times better. So you definitely want to check that out. And he drops some serious gems in person. So definitely come through Nashville. We look forward to seeing you. I'll be there. Kenyatta will be there. 10K will be there. And a bunch of other amazing speakers will be there as well. So I think we got like
Jared,
5 minutes left.
Jared,
Yeah,
can
please
I
jump
interrupt
in.
you for just a second? I want to interrupt you for a second because, listen, you're often, are you at your home base right now?
Yeah, I'm in LA. Yeah.
You're in LA. Okay. But often throughout the week, you're in other cities networking. I mean, at the drop of a hat, you're gone. I never know where you are. Why do you at the level you are now? People can see how many followers you have. Okay, they can if they know your story, they know what level you are as far as your income is concerned. Why do you still go to all of these things networking? Why?
Because you can never stop learning. Your relationships create even more opportunities. And there's also value that I can bring to others as well. Because the reason why I've been successful is I'm always focused on what value can I bring Kenyatta, what value can I bring 10K, what value can I bring Credit Goddess, what value can I bring Don. And what happens is Kenyatta brings me a ton of value, 10K brings me a ton of value, Credit Goddess can bring me a ton of value. They teach me things that I don't know. So that exchange of knowledge, that exchange of energy, that exchange of relationships, the connections that people can connect me to when I need something, it just makes life so much easier. There's a Netflix documentary called Black Godfather, and one of his phrases that I love is, "I don't have problems, I have friends." And that's truly how I look at life. I'd never have a problem because I have a friend that can help me out in any situation, but that's only because I get on a plane, I sit them down at dinner, and I ask them, "How can I help you?" And they, in turn, because they are high value, because they get reciprocity, ask me, "How can I help you back?" And when you have people around you that constantly have that mindset, life becomes so easy. It becomes so abundant. And problems are not an issue because I can call somebody up and they will help me fix it. And when they call me up, I'll help them fix it as well. And that's the mindset that has helped me get to where I'm at. So if there's an NFTLA, if there's a South by Southwest, if there's an Art Basel, if there's the Grammy Awards, I want to be in the building next to all that success and people that invested in themselves to be more successful, because they're going to invest in themselves, then they're going to invest in me, and I will definitely invest in them back. So that's why I'm always on a plane. Any event where there's successful people around, I want to learn from it. I want to grow with them, and I want to connect with anybody that has that same mindset as me.
Wow, Miss Kenyatta. Listen, Miss Kenyatta, you're from Chicago, is that right?
Yes, born and raised.
All right, but are you in Chicago right now?
No, I am not.
Why are
I'm
you going?
actually
Why are you all over the place? Why are you going to these places and networking? You could stay in Chicago. Listen, there are a lot of people in Chicago that you could work with, but you don't do that. You don't stay in Chicago. How come?
Yeah, because I understand that my platform is bigger than Chicago, and I
Mm-mm.
understand how blessings flow, and who's to say that my breakthrough is in Chicago? I'm actually in Delaware, you guys, from a relationship that I built from Clubhouse and took off of Clubhouse. I have created a space inside of a family. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes beyond just friends. I consider Jared family. I consider Don family. I consider Sean, credit card is Kurt. Like this is so much bigger than what you're actually seeing right here. At the end of the day, we have a common thread, but it all starts when you jump off the app. It all starts when you start engaging. And for me personally, I really connect with eyes, right? I want to see your eyes. I want to feel your aura. And amazing things have always happened for me because of that. And so what that means now is I am traveling all over the place, and I would drop everything if, like Jared just preached, um, I would drop everything to be surrounded by that energy. Because if you are anything like me, you know how it feels. Maybe you're the black sheep of the family. Maybe no one in your circle talks like you, don't want better. You got to go out and seek it. You know what I mean? People are here waiting to be your bridge, waiting to pour into you, but how are they going to find you? What good is a diamond no one can see? So that's the reason I would travel from here to the ends of the earth for those that um, are good to me, and I could be good too.
Well, listen, Kenyatta, I want people to know this. I didn't meet you on Clubhouse. I met you at an event. We were looking around.
Absolutely.
We were looking around which table we were going to sit at, my wife and I. And I think you were at this table like by yourself when we just said, well, let's go sit at this table. All right. And then
It's the
what?
dopest story done because it actually started way before then.
What?
Okay, you guys see, it happened way before then. Do you remember Top Golf? We were at the
That's
networking
right.
event first.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
yes. Yeah.
You tell us
So
because
you guys, I'm just telling you. It's so for Don, it was the second encounter. For me, it was the first. It does not matter as long as the encounter was made. So I want you guys to get that. You know, maybe you thinking I went to events before, but it took Don twice. It took me. You get what I'm saying? You just never know. Just keep putting yourself around people, and then what is supposed to happen, it will happen.
I'm telling you, folks, these kinds of things happen. And not only that, but we've been to a lot of events over the years. What we're getting ready to experience at the Opryland, the Gaylord Opryland Resort, this particular conference, you've never seen anything like this. It's not going to compare to anything you've seen before. We're leveling this whole thing up. You want to be in the place. All right, Sean 10K, I need to hear from you. We got just a couple of minutes left. But when Sean travels, he travels with his whole family going to these things. Sean, why do you, when you network, why do you take your whole family?
I mean, Don, look, if you're the only one that's thinking financially in your family,
You're in the matrix.
everyone else is going to basically be seen as the boss.
You're in the matrix, man.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, cool. So the reality of the situation is, if you're the smartest and the most financially savvy one in your group, you're in trouble. So one thing I learned in a relationship, if you and your spouse is not on the same page, again, you're in trouble. But when you guys become on the same page, then it's a duel that no one can take down. And the reality of the situation is, as Kenyatta rightly said, this is not a seminar, this is an event. And a successful life is a combination of good events. So I would recommend and challenge everyone to look at the events in your life. You know, if you think that McDonald's is cheap, you're paying with McDonald's with your health. If you think watching television is the $12.99 you're paying a month, nope, it's giving them of your time. So when you're giving your time to events like this and you're networking with individuals who can actually help you move from where you are to where you really want to be, that's an event worth investing in. And I think I met both Kenyatta and Don for the first time in Atlanta as well. It was not only a great meet. In fact, the first night I met Kenyatta in Atlanta, I think I sold her damn 10K card. And she's become so hooked on it. Every event she goes to, she sells someone a 10K card. Anytime I see my phone ring, I'm like, oh shit, Kenyatta's at an event and she's going to put me on the phone with someone. So the reality of the situation is, guys, don't be afraid to go to these events. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what chemistry is going to strike. And also, most importantly, you never know how these individuals will fit into your life. Again, I'll say this nice and slow. You never know how these individuals are going to fit into your life. The metaverse that's coming is going to be one of the most crucial time for us. And having a friend on stage like Jared is literally going to be holding our hands and walking us through. Because whatever secret nuggets he have, whatever adjustments we can make to our formula, we have a friend in the room, Jared, that can help us there. And I love what you just mentioned there, Jared. I don't have problems. I have friends. And additionally, Jared, I'm going to say I don't have problems. I have friends that's using the 10K card. So that's going to be my new one. With that said, Don, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone in the room, guys. You know, schedule the event. It's definitely going to be worth it. Most importantly, you'll get a chance to meet me and my family. And I'll be giving you all the gems where marketing is concerned. You know, every time you hear of 10, if every time you hear of ice10kbook.com, what am I signaling you to do? Go to ice10kbook.com and get a copy of Don's book. When you hear ice10kvideos.com, what are we signaling you to do? We're signaling you to go to Don's YouTube channel and actually help to grow his channel. Watch the videos, like, comment, share, subscribe to his channel. When you hear ice10kcard.com, that's where you can go and actually get a prepaid card paid for already by Don. Why am I subconsciously mentioning this to you guys? Because every time you think ICE 10K, once you drop the right keyword behind 10K, you're going to find what you're looking for in Don's world. So if
All
we can do
right.
this for Don, guys, 1 second, Don, 1 second. If we can do this for Don, we can do this for everyone. So what I'm doing here is inspiring you to start thinking different. And that's where the spiritual mindset comes in. With that said, Don, back to you.
Thank you, sir. Well, listen, folks, um, we're going to stay on Clubhouse for just a couple more minutes while Kurt is running the audio. He has to go. So, Kurt, thank you very much. Go ahead and play the outro for our folks online, and we're going to stay here in Clubhouse. Thank you very much, Kurt, for handling the audio for us today. You are a true trooper and a champion. Thank you so much.